Little girl?
Hello, motherfucker.
Our movie Flaws and Awes library is growing, with Train to Busan, The Boondock Saints, Bone Tomahawk, Krampus, and Joker, with a lot more to come, so stay tuned. Now, if you're new here, the rules are simple. We'll attempt to show Hollywood what worked and what didn't, while also trying to have some fun with a special type of breakdown format. Anything just okay or meh gets ignored, while the good gets an A and the bad gets an F, and this will lead into a unique map cinema score ranging from negatives to positives. Now, it's been heavily requested to review the complete first season of The Walking Dead and more if it's successful. So if this is something you really want, now is the time to help support the content by punching that like button, commenting, sharing the vid over social media, becoming a member of the channel or Patreon support, which support links can be found in the video description. If we can triple the amount of support soon, I can commit to multiple Walking Dead back episodes every month, probably 3 to 4 for the next 2 years. Now let's get into The Walking Dead 101 Days Gone By, Flaws and Awes.
Holy shit.
This intro is skillfully shot. We see a normal view of a country intersection, and as the camera floats, tracing the cop car, a flipped vehicle suggests a possible car accident. The sheriff's deputy exits, retrieving a gas can from the trunk. For the viewer, a new reality sinks in. This isn't a normal car accident. Little by little, it's revealed that the lights are out and some of the cars have been burnt up, left, and forgotten about. That sheriff's deputy, Rick Grimes, shambles down a tiny hill clutching his side. We'll come to know that he's injured, and anyone with an injury knows vibrations hurt the sore muscles around the healing wound. These ultra-realistic additions, no matter how small, should always be highlighted and appreciated. These will always prop up a scene, helping to add to the immersion. It's now clear that this is way more than your standard car accident, revealing what appears to be a last-minute, desperate campsite for suddenly stranded survivors. The camera shifts into first-person point of view, putting us into Rick's shoes. The flies aid to the grossness, and the makeup effects are solid. Both drivers appear to have head injuries, like gunshot wounds, yet it still leaves the scene ambiguous, adding to the vibe of it all. The makeshift campsite feels lived in, and it's interesting. It feels like a decent size, helping to add to the scale, and I love the random-ass throwing knives stuck in that tree. There's no score this whole time, which is very important for this opener specifically. Just the sounds of the world. It's all that remains. It's intimate and personal. Just Rick Grimes and us. Yep, you just seen a zombie pick up a fucking stuffed bear. This is likely done at the expense of consistent zombie behavior for a Hollywood effect. Now that is when a scene is filmed by bending the rules of the world to have more of a cinematic pace and reveal. Combining that with the fact that the zombies were modeled after the classic George Romero zombies. His ghouls did pick things up, they used rocks as clubs and whoop-de-whoop. It's not until around season 4 that they made a behavioral standard to stick by. Fucking awesome, an iconic first scene zombie. Now this is classic screenplay structure 101. Hook the audience with the first 10 pages, with or without connections to the plot. They do it here and it works beautifully. Another neat little Easter egg, there actually was a girl in the 4th issue of the comic book, which this show is based on, and it was likely the inspiration for Frank Darabont to add her here. The tone from this moment is important to set up what's coming. It grips us, sets it up, and if you saw this on TV and you had no idea, you never saw the trailer, man, it probably hit you hard. Now the CGI is holding up, but it is a touch rough. The credits intro is legendary at this point. It's just the perfect combination of theme with visuals. Hella creepy and atmospheric.
Bitch, you mean to tell me you've been hearing this your entire life? You are still too damn stupid to learn how to turn off a switch.
I gotta get this out of the way. I'm well aware that the last 10 years, Shane's dialogue is now considered shameful, sexist, blah blah blah. Or is that shameful? Alright, I'll stop with the dad jokes. Now, the character is literally telling an anecdotal story summary of every woman he's dated. And this is part of his character, and more importantly, it's to contrast how and what Rick says next. Immediately, you can tell the difference between the playboy bachelor and the family man. Anyway, when they talk, it's not polished, philosophical, deep wordsmith dribble. It's rough, real, setting up their closeness, their bond, partners, best friends. I highlight that fact because some of the things I love the most about early Walking Dead seasons is how real and authentic and organic the dialogue is. Further down the line, a lot of the dialogue comes off as if they're on a stage and they know everything they're speaking is like Shakespearean, and it kind of weighs it down.
Would be kind of cool, get on one of them shows.
I know it's two different police forces, but is that common? Spike stripping officers' vehicles? Wouldn't they still get advised? I mean, they did the roadblock. Wouldn't they be able to coordinate the spike strip? Or at least some type of warning? Again, it's refreshing to be in the moment with these guys without a score dictating a feeling that we're supposed to have. The gunfight choreography here is a touch wonky, from filming to the final edit. So many cops shoot so many bullets without hitting their target. Usually it's the first shot that's the most accurate because you're not dealing with recoil. I don't know how it's gonna sound on YouTube, but watching it on Blu-ray, that shotgun sound is thumping.
No. Do it now!
Yikes, that coma effect. Give it back to the 1990s, man. Take that shit out of here. This transition is sharp and it works well. Joking about the vase leads into the flowers reveal, which was a great tool to show the passing of time. Yes, it is a fun, twisted adventure, living vicariously through a character waking up from a coma and the world is seemingly gone. But his body would be very weak and stiff. He didn't crap himself, no catheter, no bed sores. However, fans get it. We don't want our hero covered in fecal matter, and he's gotta get up and moving quickly not to bore the shit out of us. So this is the one big suspension of disbelief, even if they later try to fix this plot hole in the webisode called The Oath, where it's hinted a survivor took care of Rick but died just before he wakes up. There's no music telling us what to feel. This scene especially needs to immerse the viewer. We need to experience it just as Rick is. Creepy atmosphere with a soft score, now kinda helping the vibe. The famous don't open dead inside doors. There's some nice, small and big details here that help make this scene pop. Like the fingertip prints, the gunshots all over the walls, the hanging debris, an undeniably badass and epic iconic moment for everything involved. The visuals in combination with what is happening and the shock to Rick, who just woke up from a coma, to this. The outdoor nature sounds flood in, becoming the soundtrack once he opens this door. Damn, now that's a living nightmare. Another totally badass and iconic scene. And they're doing a good job making this feel like a nightmare for Rick.
This is real.
Probably one of the most impactful little moments because it's such a hard-hitting mindfuck. Lenny James is a wonderful actor. His scenes shine. The casting here was solid. We're gonna address this now, but his injury doesn't line up. Sure, there would be surgical incisions, but it's a touch off.
Gunshot.
What else? Anything?
Gunshot ain't enough.
The walkers.
Yes, Walker. Because zombie just has a silly ring to it by now. Besides, not using the word zombie isn't even anything new. Even in the classic, they were called ghouls. And I struggle to figure out why people have a hard time understanding that. Yes, this is a story grounded in a world much like our own, but it's a different universe that never had zombies exist. No zombie movies, no stories, no none of that. For me, I think that adds to what's going on here. As much as we like to poke fun at exposition dumps, oftentimes they are necessary. You just gotta make sure they actually fit the scene and the story. This is one of those times. Up until now, we've only seen one walker at a time in pretty harmless situations. Now, bunkered down and respecting how much of a threat they are, this scene allows for a bigger view of the ones outside. Also, bleeding into some of the more heavy emotional character stuff, Dwayne's mother is there. Yes, the walkers early on are very different than what we'll come to know. Their eyes seem to be more of a bloodshot, and they're turning a doorknob. This is something that'll get dropped later on, and honestly, it's probably something they never should have included to begin with. I do have to add it in here though, without adding the bias of how you want your zombies. That is a creepy moment.
Skin gave off heat like a furnace.
I am so glad they cast Lenny James. There's a lot of emotional weight in his performance.
I should have put it down, man. I should have put it down. I just didn't have it in me. Need a moment.
Rick deduces that his family is still alive from the missing photos. Now that's clever. We like clever. Plus, this'll bring up Morgan's wife again and give us this little moment.
There I am packing survival gear. She's grabbing photo out.
Nice story flow here with a purposeful slow burn beginning, and now we have our mission. Rick's going off, looking for his wife and kid. There's an adventurous vibe about it.
Daddy be upstairs.
You're not gonna warn him about the... Oh, okay.
Daddy?
An iconic scene. This has it all. The look, the feel, the weight, plus it helps to reveal more of Rick's true character.
I'm sorry this happened to you.
That damn CGI blood though.
Come on.
Combining Rick and Morgan's dual mercy moment makes sense for the story flow, and both pack some heavy emotional weight. What makes this extra hard-hitting is when this was released, and a big part of why it exploded in popularity was how it wasn't like your standard zombie story. This was grounded in realism, showing off those heavy emotional moments that fit so damn well within this genre, but barely ever got used before. Most movies, not all, but most, didn't fully capitalize on this genre's full potential.
Hey, hello?
The prospect of new survivors is exciting.
Hello, is the person who called still on the air?
Shane's reveal is great, teasing a reunion, and this is likely the reason Rick's family hasn't been shown. Not just to streamline the story, but for this reveal. Seeing them at the camp, knowing he almost made contact with them, and then we get the photo confirmation.
Folks got no idea what they're getting into.
Clever way to sneak a little hint in that Rick is in danger. Shane, you dirty dog. The plot thickens. Like I said, the tiny things are huge for immersion. That bag full of guns falls like Halloween decorations, and later on a horse, they're flopping around like they're clearly toys. They'll share the point, so calm down, chill. We see the desperation with a great gory effect, telling us this trip will not be easy. Picture perfect for the poster. Again, badass and iconic imagery, a visual moment that's so striking it stands out and becomes one of the more memorable aspects of the episode. Normally there would be at least a few cars on the other side, but this scene wants to speak to the viewer. It's purposeful, visually over-exaggerated. Everyone trying to leave and literally no one trying to enter, except for Rick's crazy ass. City setting is looking great. You got the litter, the burnt out bus, the look of a few shambling walkers, setting up the tank by going past it. And the chopper is a great distraction, right before leading us and Rick right into a massive horde around the corner. AMC, the damn extra, drinking lean, edit his ass out already, cause ever since it was pointed out to me I cannot stop taking my eyes off that son of a bitch, and it's really messing with the immersion. So yeah, that's clearly a stuntman and not Andrew Lincoln. Damn HD TVs. Now, I love this moment, and I'm only adding this to be fair. They filmed it in a way that isn't too noticeable, but if you track the movements, it's ridiculous how he gets surrounded because of the environment and how slow the walkers move. Those streets were just fully clear. We can appreciate how difficult a scene like this would be to film. For safety reasons alone, there is a bit too much shaky cam, but in the end, we get a fistful of horse guts.
I'm sorry.
Fun fact, this walker later appears in the zombie-esque video game Days Gone. Oh, not the zombie, I mean the actor playing the zombie. I'm dumb. Game of the Year 2019, fight me. Some walkers are just terrible at their job. They just play with the meat. What are you doing?
Hey, you. Dumbass.
It's one badass final shot. Trapped with all those walkers. And that was The Walking Dead 101, Days Gone By. So we subtract the 15 Fs from the 76 As to get a map cinema score of 61. Obviously, once we do more episodes in Season 1, we will start calculating them in an overall list. We have started on Season 10. I'm just not sure if I'm going to have them in the back-end list just yet. I might leave it for just Season 1 and see how it goes. A massive thank you to current supporters, and remember, I can only keep this going if the support and interest is there, so if this is something you want to see continue throughout the full series for the next couple years on this channel, a few episodes a month, we could definitely use your support now more than ever. Thank you very much, those who are supporting. I truly appreciate it. I love doing the Flaws and Awes series, and stay tuned because next is The Walking Dead 102.